Hello everyone, my name is Pris from Prisperuses and welcome to another video. Today we are gonna be talking about my top 10 favorite adult books. So I've been reading a lot of adult books over the past 2 years. I've been really delving more into adult fantasy and also adult as a whole genre. So it was incredibly hard for me to put together a top 10. Before I dive into the top 10, I do want to give some really honorable mentions for some books that I absolutely love but did not make this top 10 quite. So we have, for example, The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, we have the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson, and we have The Priory of the Orange Tree, also by Samantha Shannon. I absolutely loved these books. They just didn't make the top 10. Without further ado, let's dive into my top 10. At number 10 we have Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Oh my gosh, this is so good, guys. This is fantastic. I absolutely loved it, and I also really loved the sequel, Vengeful. This is about Victor and Eli who meet during their time at university. They are absolutely brilliant, they are super ambitious, and they wanna play a little bit with life. They delve themselves into the world of extraordinaries. They try to make themselves into extraordinaries with all the wrong consequences. This has a dual timeline which is brilliantly done. It all comes together in the end, and it's just honestly the best thing. These are such morally gray characters that you just cannot tell who is right and who is wrong. Also, there's a character in this called Sydney. She's the best thing ever. I love her to pieces, and I highly recommend you pick this up because this is the best. Also, the sequel, Vengeful, is amazing. It introduces 2 new characters called Marcella and June, and honestly, I cannot get over how badass and amazing these female characters are. They are incredible. Highly recommend this duology. At number 9 we have The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Oh my goodness, did this make me sob. Whilst I was reading this, I was just shocked that Evelyn Hugo wasn't real, because the way Taylor writes this, it's just, I was so sad that Evelyn Hugo did not exist. I wanted to watch all of her movies, and she just felt like an incredible real character to me. So this is about Evelyn Hugo. She is an extremely private person, and she has been married 7 times. She is one of Hollywood's most famous actresses, and she is ready to tell her entire story. She picks out a journalist for her story that is not very known. This person, Monique, is really wondering why Evelyn Hugo picked her to tell her story. She is very intrigued by that, but she is willing to listen to what Evelyn Hugo has to say. So Evelyn Hugo tells her entire life story to Monique, and at the end we find out why Evelyn picked Monique. Honestly, this is incredible. This is so good. As I told before, it feels like Evelyn is a very real character. You get an inside peek into the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, but also the very ugly side of it. This was just fantastic, and it deserves a spot in my top 10. At number 8 we have The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. This is a chunker, but it is beautiful. This is about Zachary. He finds a book in the library, and when he reads this book, he is certain that that book is about him, because there is details in this book that only he knows. So he goes on a little bit of an adventure to find out what the hell is happening and why this book knows about him and his past. He gets lost into the Starless Sea. When you read this, you will ask yourself, what the hell did I just read? I know, but it is incredible. It is so beautiful. It took my breath away, and I fell absolutely in love with it. I love flowery, whimsical, magical writing style. I know this is not for everyone. I really enjoyed myself reading this. and I fell head over heels in love with the Starless Sea. At number 7 we have the Poppy War. Oh my gosh, this was incredible. This is about a girl called Rin. She wants to go to the best military academy in the country. When she arrives there, she will learn all about herself and her powers, and war is brewing in the background. This series is incredible. It is brutal to the absolute bone. If you know, you know, but chapter 21 in this is absolutely fucking horrible. After that, I felt sick. I couldn't continue to read. I was having physical reactions throughout the entirety of the series. And it's just so good. Also, the ending of The Burning God, which is the very last book in the series, is in my opinion one of the best endings I've ever read in a book. That ending was perfect to me. It was so brave, and it was fantastic. Highly recommend this, but it has a lot of trigger warnings. I fell in love with the series, fell in love with the characters, fell in love with the world. I binge read these 3 back to back within a week because I could not get enough of this. And it was amazing. At number 6 we have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Again an Erin Morgenstern book. Oh my gosh, again with the whimsicalness, the lyricalness, the magicalness. This is all about the Night Circus, a circus that comes and goes without a warning, and it's honestly the best place. I want to go to the Night Circus, okay? It's about 2 people having an epic magical duel. This duel is beautiful. This book feels like a dream. It feels like the most magical ride you've ever been on. And honestly, I know this is not for everyone. Again, same as with the Starless Sea, but I really fell in love with this. This is also perfect for autumn and winter in my opinion, because the atmosphere is so dark but so beautiful that I think it's perfect to read in the fall or in winter time. And honestly, even now talking about it, I want to reread it all over. At number 5 we have Jade City by Fonda Lee. I read this year and this was incredible. Incredible. This is set in an Asian inspired world where some people known as the Green Bones can wield jade as magic. However, there are 2 clans in this world that are at odds with each other. There is a clan war brewing. Then there is this drug coming up on the market which makes people that aren't green bones able to wield jade, but it's highly addictive. It has so many wrong consequences. We follow the family that has been ruling the No Peak clan for years and years, and we see what happens with them throughout the series of this drug coming up on the market, about the war with the Mountain clan. And honestly, this is incredible. This was so good, and the ending of Jade Legacy had me sobbing for 3 days straight. Like, honestly, the same as with The Burning God, I think the ending of Jade Legacy is one of the best endings I have ever read in a book series. It is just mind-blowing. Also, Hilo as a character is everything. You need to read this. Then at number 4 we have the Wayward Children series by Shauna McGuire. I am holding In an Absent Dream, which is the 4th book in the series, and this is my favorite. The entire series is incredible. The Wayward Children series is all about Eleanor West and her school for wayward children. In this world, people find doors. They find doors to their own magical worlds. They spend some time there, but then for whatever reason they get sent back or go back to their own world. And then they have to cope with the fact that they can no longer go to the world of their choice. Eleanor West helps these people cope with their feelings, emotions, the experiences they had in another world. And honestly, it's the best series, because when you are reading this, you just want to find your own door. I want to have my own door. I want to have a door. And if I had a door, my door would lead to the Goblin Market, which is the setting In an Absent Dream. This is Lundy's story, and absolutely fell in love with this. The ending of this was heartbreaking. I sobbed my eyes out. I think if I would get a door, it would lead me to the Goblin Market. It is fantastic. all these characters are fantastic, all these different worlds are fantastic, and with every single book you read more about the characters, you read more about doors and where they lead to, and it's just honestly the best thing. It is escapism from this real world at its absolute best, and honestly I cannot get enough of this series. At number 3 we have the Winter Night Trilogy by Catherine Arden. Oh my gosh, this is so good. You need to read this. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely beautiful. I loved this story with the whole of my being. This is heavily inspired by Slavic folklore. It's all about Vasya. It's her coming of age story. She lives in this world where the old tales and the old customs are kind of a little bit forgotten, and people move on to this new religion that is being boasted about by this horrible priest. Vasya, she is the one that still remembers all the old tales and all the old stories, and there is something dark looming in the woods. This series is incredible. As I said, heavily inspired by Slavic folklore. The atmosphere in this is sensational. Highly recommend you pick this up during a very frosty winter, and honestly it is the best. It is so beautiful. I fell in love with Vasya as a character, sobbed my eyes out multiple times throughout the series. I absolutely love this, and therefore it gets number 3 in my top 10. We are nearly there. At number 2 we have Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. Alex E. Harrow is becoming a favorite author of mine. I love all her books. Also 10,000 Doors of January and A Spindle Splintered were amazing, but this absolutely takes the cake for me. I loved this so incredibly much, and I felt so powerful. This is about 3 sisters, 3 witches who find themselves together again. They join the suffragists of New Salem because they want more rights for women. Their organization is soon turning into a wondrous sister bond of witchcraft, and they are using their ancient magic to give these women that have been suppressed for so long a voice. This is incredible. I felt so proud to be a woman when I read this. I got emotional very much, multiple occasions. I felt so inspired by this. I felt powerful whilst reading this, and one of the sisters, Juniper, she lives in my head rent-free. Therefore it gets the number 2 spot in my top 10. There is another character living in my head rent-free alongside Juniper, and I think they will get quite along, and that is my number 1 spot because of course it's Addie from The Invisible Life of Addie Larue. Are you surprised? I don't think so. I've been shouting about this book for forever. I absolutely love this. I cannot thank V.E. Schwab enough for writing this story. I read the story at exactly the right time. I was feeling very low in life, didn't know what I want to do with my life, I didn't see perspective, I didn't see a future for myself, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and then I read this. And this reawoke everything that I loved about life. This is about a girl called Addie Larue. She makes a deal with the devil. He grants her wish, but he also tricks her, with the result that Addie is forgotten by everyone who she meets. As soon as the door closes, people forget about her. This makes her life very difficult. That is until she meets Henry, who remembers her. Honestly, this book is a love letter to life. It is about love, but not necessarily romantic or sexual love, but it's about love for life, for books, stories, places, food, music, art, everything that you can love about life. And I do think we often forget about those things. So I got heavily inspired by this. It was an absolute turning point for me within my journey of what I want to do with life. And look at me now, I've become a booktuber. I found out what my passion is, and I want to be able to do this for a very long time. And I honestly cannot thank Victoria enough for writing this story, because this story is so incredibly important to me and it will be for the rest of my life. So therefore it has the top spot. This is just my favorite book of all time. Not even adult, it's just my favorite book across all the books that you see here behind me on my shelves. This one takes the cake. It is incredible. There you have it. That was my top 10 adult books. Have you read any of these books? Do let me know down below in the comments what were your thoughts on them. Also, please give me your top 3 adult books that you love the most. I would love to know. That was it for today. If you have enjoyed, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for your continued support. I am gonna leave you now, but I will hopefully be back soon with another video. Bye!